Most collectors of early English clocks have a shopping list, and at the top of that list is almost always a quintessential example of a walnut long case clock by Joseph Knibb. And with this clock, you need look no further. It typifies everything that Joseph Knibb stood for: elegance and proportion, simplicity and beauty, from the case to the dial and even the movement. The base of the case sits on 4 bun feet, and above that is the long rectangular trunk door, which has a lovely eagle head gilt-brass escutcheon for the door lock. Upon opening the door, we reveal the original brass rod pendulum with Knibb's butterfly nut to help adjust the height of the bob. The lovely brass pulleys and brass cased weights are very likely original to the clock. On the inside of the door are very distinct tracks, where in the past the weights have grazed the door, presumably caused by the restrictions of a wall it was standing against, necessitating the case to be leant slightly too far forward. It's worth noting the original reversed hinges. Why Knibb's cases sometimes had reversed hinges is a bit of a mystery. Perhaps it was a design feature peculiar to a particular case maker. The rising hood has twisted columns, pierced walnut sound frets in the friezes, and the sides are glazed to view the lovely movement inside. The 10-inch square, fully latched gilt brass dial is signed Joseph Knibb London beneath the silvered chapter ring, which is engraved with Roman and Arabic numerals and Knibb's typical trident half-hour markers. Note the lovely blued steel hands, which are pierced and beautifully sculpted, and the finely matted centre, which is pierced with a calendar aperture above chapter 6. The 8-day movement has latched pillars, and the going train has very original wheelwork, with an anchor escapement on Knibb's arrangement, with an S-curved backcock for the pivoted crutch, and an anchor-shaped cutout in the backplate. The strike train is regulated by a count wheel, which is on the backplate, with the hours striking on a pork pie bell above the movement plates. Approximately 450 clocks by Joseph Knibb have survived to this day, and of those 450, only about 100 are long case clocks, and of those 100 long case clocks, only 40, less than 10% of his output, are pure walnut examples like this one. It's also worth mentioning the provenance of this clock, because it's only once ever been on the market, and that was 27 years ago at a Sotheby's sale in 1989. The price it sold for then was the princely sum of £77,000, which was the 3rd highest price ever achieved at auction for a clock by Joseph Knibb. It was obviously then greatly admired by discerning collectors, and it is now waiting for another admiring collector to add it to his collection.